Panda by Susan Bonners. In a mountain forest of southwestern China, a giant panda sits in a birch tree. Snowflakes fall on her black and white fur, but she does not look for shelter. She has lived in snow most of her life. Early one autumn, she found a den in a rocky mountainside. There she made a nest out of broken bamboo stalks. While frosty winds blew through the forest, she gave birth to her cub. The cub was so tiny she could easily be covered by one of her mother's paws. She weighed only 140 grams. She was smaller than a kitten, but she had a loud voice that sounded like a baby's cry. The cub had just a thin covering of white fur. Only her mother's warmth kept her alive. Day and night, the mother panda held her cub tightly against her large, warm body. She never put her down. For several days, the mother panda stayed in the den and nursed her cub. Eventually, she had to eat. Carefully, she looked outside. She sniffed the chilly air. She listened to the sounds of the forest. Then, carrying her cub in one paw, she left the den. She did not have far to go for food. Still cradling her cub, she ate some of the bamboo that grew all around her. Soon, the cub began to look like her mother. By the time she was 1 month old, she had a soft, thick coat of black and white fur. She could not crawl yet, but she could roll around a little. Now her mother could leave her for a short time. Before she left, the mother panda always put her in a hidden place. At the cub's first cry, she hurried back to soothe her by stroking her with a paw. The cub grew quickly. At 2 months, she weighed 3 kilograms, 20 times more than when she was born. Her voice was softer now, a kind of bleating sound. The mother panda played with her, tossing her gently between her paws. All this time, the cub's eyes had been closed. She lived in a world of sounds and smells. She could hear her mother's heart beating. She could smell her and feel her warmth, but she could not see her. At 2.5 months, her eyes opened, and she began to see the world around her. She saw bamboo growing in tall thickets that stayed green all winter. There were spruce, birch, and maple trees. Sometimes a golden monkey swung on the branches. Birds flew overhead, the titmouse and the nuthatch and the laughing thrush. At 3 months, she was able to crawl. Now she could explore the world on her own. Often while her mother slept, the cub sniffed over everything she could find. The cub did not spend all her time exploring. Sometimes she just played. In the spring, the cub was 5 months old and still lived on her mother's milk. She weighed 9 kilograms. One day, while her mum was eating bamboo, the cub nibbled a leaf. She crunched a thin shoot with her milk teeth. As her jaws became stronger, she ate bigger and bigger stalks. Her mother could eat woody stalks 4 centimeters thick. The mother liked to eat some leaves first. Holding the stalk, she let herself fall slowly backwards. The mother panda ate 9 kilograms of bamboo every day. Giant pandas have special linings in their throats and stomachs to protect them. They can even swallow splinters without being hurt. Summer came. To escape the heat, the cub and her mother went up to the cool meadows above the forest. In the meadows, they ate irises and crocuses, vines, and tufted grasses. A panda has a special bone in its wrist that works like a thumb, so it can pick things up with a very delicate grasp. Now the cub was able to take care of herself, but she stayed with her mother a while longer. She kept growing and getting stronger, and when she was a year old, she weighed 36 kilograms. Her coat became wiry. She lost her milk teeth and grew large, permanent teeth. And then she went off to live on her own. But she was not alone in the forest. Raccoon-like animals called red pandas watched her from their nests. Pheasants flapped out of her way. Takins trumped past her. She learned to catch mice and birds, which sometimes she ate. She was not afraid of any animals but the snow leopard and the wild dog. Honey from the beehive of a mountain farmer was a special treat, but she could get it only when no one was looking. Roly-Poly Walk was not very fast or graceful, but with her short, powerful legs, she could go through the thickest forest. The pads on her feet were covered with hair, giving her a good grip on the steepest, icy mountainside. She could even swim a mountain stream if she had to. She did most of her roaming in twilight or darkness. She slept for a while before dawn, and again in the afternoon when the sun was high. At the age of 6, she was fully grown and old enough to mate. She weighed 100 kilograms and was nearly 2 meters long from nose to tail. Male pandas are bigger. Fully grown, they weigh about 136 kilograms. One spring day, she heard the bleat of a male panda. He was following a trail of scent marks she had left in the forest. Marks by rubbing a scent gland under her tail, against trees and rocks. Male panda was also leaving a trail of scent marks. Soon the two pandas found each other by following the marks. The female approached the male panda and they mated. Then each panda went its own way again. Now will have a cub of her own in about 5 months. It will be born in the autumn, just as she was. The female panda may live for another 20 years or more and raise many cubs. Even so, giant pandas are rare. They are found only in these mountains, their wilderness home.